Today's daf is daf Mem Gimel. We're going to begin the Rabbi Shmuel. The Rabbi Shmuel Tana in the Yeshiva of Rabbi Shmuel, they taught oi, that the word or is l'rabbeis as a shliach is to include the shliach. Bei Chizkiah Tana in the Yeshiva of Chizkiah, they taught what is tachas. Tachas is l'rabbeis as a shliach. So it teaches us that one who appointed a shliach is chayev for the actions of the shliach. Now, the Gemara asks, this works well according to the one who says that when you have two psukim, why not learn from the case of either the hektish or the other case that and that of by shechting or sale, that a shliach can be appointed to perform a shliach d'var aveda. So the Gemara answers and says, that the Torah reveals that a shliach cannot be appointed a shliach d'var aveda in the case of offering shechting outside the base of Mikdash. As the Torah says, dam yechashav the ish hu dam shafech. It shall be considered blood for that man. He has spilled blood. Hu v'lo shluchay. And the Torah says that man teaches us that he is chayav for his actions, but he's not chayav for the actions of a shliach. So the Gemara asks, Askechan gabi shchuti chutz. So you found a mucker for the halacha that in shliach d'var aveda with regards to the isser of offering shechita outside of the base of Mikdash. What do I know from the entire Torah, for the entire Torah, or to the entire Torah? So the Gemara answers and says, the Yalab Mishchuti Chutz, that we learn this from the case of Shchuti Chutz. So the Gemara asks, Al Yalab Mishchuti Chutz, Neilaf Mehanach, but before learning that Ein Shliach D'var Aveda, in the case of Shchuti Chutz, let us learn from these other cases that Yesh Shliach D'var Aveda, which we just mentioned. So the Gemara answers, Hadar Kasar Rachmana, the Torah again writes in the same pasuk in connection to the Isser of Shchuti Chutz, Torah writes, V'nichnas ha'ish hahu, and that man shall be cut from his people. Im enei inyan gufay. If the halacha from is not needed for this matter itself, to know the inyan l'chal Torah kula, so learn this for the entire Torah kula. One is held chayav only for one's actions, but not for Sanei Shliach. So now the Gemara asks, according to the one who holds the klalab and there's no reason to learn from hektish and shchuti chutz in shchita or sale. Then one can appoint a shliach to perform a isser. So now the question is, so what do they learn from the pasuk of that? That meant, since he doesn't need to counter a learning from the two psukim, he should not require them to teach that one cannot appoint a shliach to perform an aveda. So the answer is one of them serves to exclude the chiyuv, that the case of one who hold a knife and shechted a korban outside the base of Mikdash, and the other one emphasizes hu v'lo anus. That man is chayav, but not the one who is compelled to shecht the animal. Hu v'lo shegig. That man is chayav, but not the shegig. Hu v'lo muteh. He and not one who was mistaken. In other words, one who did not know that the animal was a korban. Or as be chayav, you have acted with the awareness and complete willingness. So then where it says about the idach and the other opinion, the one who holds that shnei sobam ke'echad melamdin. So the question is, ma'hu ahu v'idach, so what does he do? Ma'hu ahu v'idach hu ahu l'darish. Where our question is the statement that there's no shlichus d'var aveda. But that was taught in a braysa. A person says to the shliach, tzei hareges nefesh, go kill a person. Oi, who chayav v'shulchay poter. So the din is, the killer is chayav if he kills, and the one who appointed him is poter. Shemazok and Emir Mishum Chagi Hanav, he says shulchay chayav. He says no, the one who appointed him is chayav. Shenemar, as it says, it says in regards to David with the record he have to kill Uriah, there says him you have slain with the sword of the children of Ammon. David was held responsible for the death of Uriah. So we're asked, "My time in the B'Shamai Azog." What is the reason of Shamai Azog? And how can he say that there is shlichus l'dvar Rabbeinu? So the answer is because he holds that two psukim come to teach the Malamdan. And Rahu like Darsh by Sema and Darsh Maichayev was Michayev Dine Shomayim Mischayev by the laws of heaven, though it cannot be punished by Bezdin. So the Gemara says Mechlal. For you learn from here the Tanakama Sabbar, that the Tanakama will hold. I feel that Dine Shomayim Nam Potter, that Dine Shomayim is Potter. Ella, rather you must Ella Dina Rabba Dina Zuta Ika Benayo. So, rather the first Tana also agrees that one who appointed the killer is chayav according to the Shamayim. The difference between them pertains to the great judgment and small judgment. According to Shammai, his chayav is great, to the extent that Shamayim considers him fully responsible, whereas the first Tana holds that his liability is of lesser degree. Or I could tell you, or I could say that everyone agrees. Nevertheless, Shammai holds that there, with regards to killing, it's his differences. The Torah reveals him, you have slain with a sword of the children of Ammon. I see that David's accountable for his transgression and indicating that killing is different from all other transgressions. The other opinion, the first Tana who holds that the one who appoints the killer is exempt, explains the psukim as follows. Behold, the killing is like the sword of Ammon. Just as you are not punished for those who killed by the sword of Ammon, in the course of the war. So too, you're not punished for the death of Uri Achiti, even according to Shamayim. My time, why? Because he rebelled against the king. Because he said to David, and my lord Yoav and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open field. By referring to Yoav as his lord in front of the Melech, he indicated that he answered to Yoav rather than to the king, which was David, which is a Meir Malchus. Amar Rabba says, even if you say that he holds the and the who he doesn't derish, nevertheless, he's going to agree, he's going to concede with regard to the one who says to Shliach, go and have relations with a forbidden relative, or go and eat a forbidden fat, he's going to be chayiv, and the one who appointed him is pater. We don't find in the entire Torah that this person physically benefits from the Isser, and that one becomes chayiv. Itmar was stated that Amoraim and Machlekes concern the following issue. Rav says a shliach can become a witness. If one was appointed as a shliach to perform a certain task, he can serve as a witness that the action was performed. That if Shila Amri, the Shila says, the shliach cannot be an aid. My time in the Beis Shila. What's the reason of Beis Shila? Heavily aid. So if you say, because the one who appointed him did not say to the shliach, be a witness for me, and appointed him only as a shliach, so then, if one was mekadosh a woman in the presence of two people, and did not say to them, you are my witness, would you say that it's not a Kidushin? It's not necessary to say Atamedai. Ella, rather, the Machlekes is as follows. Rav Amr said 8. Rav says that a shliach can become a witness. Since we strengthen his words of testimony, because he attests the matter which he is certain, and he's the one who performed the action. Since we have the din of a person's shliach is like of himself, so the shliach is considered like the one who appointed him himself. So just as a person cannot be made of a manner that concerns himself, the same applies to one shliach. They asked the shaila on the daf. If one said to 3 people, Tzu v'kachuli ha'isha. The person says the three people go and be mekadesh the woman for me. Echad shaliach v'shnayim edim. So one of them is ishliach for Kidushin, and two of them serve as a witness. These are the words of Beishamai. Beisilo says, Kulam shluchin hein. They are all potential shluchim. And shliach cannot become a witness. So the whole machlekes is by three. Everybody agrees that shluchim are not able to serve as witnesses. So where it says, Rav holds like this Tana. Tanya of Nasan Emir, Beishamai Emir Shtech Ve'ed Echod. Beishamai holds Tanya of Nasan Emir, Beishamai Emir Shtech Ve'ed Echod. Nasan says Beishamai say that a shliach and the one witness are sufficient to carry out the shlichus and the testimony. So Emir Shtech Ve'ed. So says the shliach and two witnesses are needed. And would Rav hold like according to the opinion of Beishamai? Reverse the opinion, so that Beisilo said that a shliach and one aid is enough. Rav taught the opposite. What's the final halacha? Shliach nasa aid, that a shliach can become a witness. And he says as follows: if one said to two people, go and be mekadesh this woman for me. The very same people are the shluchim for the Kidushin and are his witnesses. And the same halacha applies to divorce. If a man sent a get to his wife with two people, they serve both as the shluchim le'ilacha, and also the shluchim for the divorce. And also in regards to the halachas of monetary law. A person appoints shluchim to perform a transaction for him, so paying off a chayiv for his creditor. They could have testified that he has paid. And it was necessary for him not to teach this halacha in each of these cases. Kidushin. If he only taught this in regards to Kidushin, then one can say that. So one can say that the shluchim can serve as a witness. Why? Because they're coming to make her forbidden to everyone else. Therefore, there's no reason to suspect them of lying. And the testimony renders forbidden to them as well. But with regards to divorce, we should be concerned that perhaps the shliach cast his eyes upon her and is testified falsehoods that he can marry her. And if Rav Nachman taught this halacha only in the case of divorce, could have said that the shliach are not suspected of lying. Why? Because a woman is not fit for marrying two people. Just to testify as a peer, there's no concern that they both might have desired her. With regards to money, one could say, Hani miflik polgi. You see that these two can divide it between them, and perhaps they never paid the chayiv, kept the money themselves. So therefore, tzricha is necessary. My kasavar, what does Rav Nachman hold? If he holds that in the case of one who lends money to another in the presence of witnesses, the balchei has to repay in the presence of witness. So these shluchim are affected by the testimony. The Omri, as if they say, Loi Parnano, if they say we did not repay him, or return the money to the one who appointed us, and the one who appointed them will say to them, Paruni, pay me back the money I gave you to repay the chayiv. The shluchim are considered as the balchei of the one who appointed them. Why? Because they took the money from him. So they would not be deemed credible to state that they returned the money to the one who appointed them, as they could not have witness that they did so. So they have a financial incentive to testify falsely and to fulfill their shlichus and repay the chayiv. Rather, Nachman actually holds that a person who lends money to another in the presence of witnesses, the balchei does not need to pay him in the presence of witnesses. And since the shliach are able to say, we return the money to the leva, even without there being witnesses to substantiate the claim, they can also say, but we repay the creditors. They have no financial incentive to lie. Where it says, and now since the time of Rachman, when the Chacham instituted a shvuas, an oath instituted by the Chacham in the case where the defendant completely denies a claim, so these witnesses are affected by the testimony. If they were to claim that they returned the money to the one who appointed them, they'd be required to take an oath to this effect. So they have an incentive to lie and claim that they fulfilled their shlichus and repaid the loan. Therefore, the testimony that they fulfilled the shlichus is not deemed credible. These witnesses take an oath in Beis Din that they gave the money to him, and the lender in turn takes an oath that he did not take the money owed to him, or the labor of the malba, and then the bachayv pays the lender is dead a second time, as the Chacham ruled in the similar cases. The Mishnah teaches that a Ish Mekadesh's bita, a man can be Mekadesh's daughter to a man, that when she is a young woman. Tanalas will learn the Mishnah in Gittin. Naidam Murasa in regards to a Naira who is engaged. He she and her father are eligible to receive her get. Our Yehuda says, two hands do not have the right to acquire an item on behalf of one person. If the Naira Murasa is able to acquire an item on her own, her father can then be Mekabel. If she's not able to acquire an item on her own, only her father can receive the get. So rather, her father alone receives the get on her behalf. The Mishnah says, and any woman who's unable to safeguard her get, either due to her she's young or she has a mental incompetence. So the halacha is she's not able to divorce, since a get is effective only for one who understands that what a get does. Shlagish says, just as there's a machlekes in regards to a get, as whether both a naina monas or her father can accept her get, so too in regards to Kiddushin. If says no. Everybody agrees in regards to Kiddushin, according to Rabbi Yechon, that it's her father and not her. He says, my time with Rabbi Yechon, what is the reason of Rabbi Yechon? I'll leave it to Rabban. According to the opinion of Chacham, that there's a distinction between Gittin and Kiddushin. Gerushin, in the case of divorce, the machneses atzmo l'shus avio, when she brings herself back into her father's authority by a get, it's considered as though that the father has obtained the get by his daughter. So bein he, bein avio. Therefore, either she or her father can receive it. Kiddushin, however, in regards to Kiddushin, the mafkas atzmo l'shus avio, where she removes herself from her father's authority, so she cannot do this by herself. Avia v'leihi. Well, your father can accept the Kidushin Menachim. But in the case of Maimer, or the Yavama, the Mafkas Asam Rishasavir, where the Yavama removes herself from her father's authority, Utnan, and we learned in a Braiso, Tana Minha Edison. If a minor girl was widowed after her Edison, so in Esim B'Maim no Midasavia, so the surviving brother or of her Mukadesha of her betrothed can perform Maimer only with the consent of her father. In the case of a young woman, whether with her consent or with the consent of her father. Now, so what do you see from here? This indicates that a young woman can accept Maimer on her own, despite the fact that it removes her from her father's authority. Or says, my time Kiddushin, he says, by Kiddushin, the Midaito, the regards to Kiddushin, which takes effect only with the consent of the one who accepts the Kiddushin. So, her father, not her. Her father, not her, can accept it, since Kiddushin requires his approval. Gershon, with regards to Gershon, the Baal Karcho, which can be given without her consent, ben he, ben avia, either her or her father. So when we're asked time Maimer, what we know in regards to Maimer, the Midaito, which is valid only with her consent, and what do we say? Ben he, ben avia, both. Alright, so Hasan Maimer the Baal Karcho. There, it's referring to a Maimer that is performed against her will. Rabbi the Tanya is a matter bivim to shlemi daitei. Rabbi Merkano Chamrim Leikano. If a Yavim performs the Maimer with his Yavam without her with the Yavam without her consent, so Rabbi Yudan Rabbi holds that it acquires, and the Chacham hold does not acquire. Where it says my time of the Rabbi. What's the reason of Rabbi? Gomer Mebia the Yavama. It learns from the Bia Yavam, Ma Bia the Yavam Balkarcha, so to Afochanami Balkarcha. Rabbanon Sari Alfinim Kidushin Makadushin Midaita Afochanami the Midaita has to be Midaita.